Thanks for being with us, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. We're glad you're here. You know, it's interesting and informative to all of us to stop and think about something. Hope causes you to be able to move the needle, causes you to be able to move forward. When you think the light at the end of the tunnel is an oncoming train, you're paralyzed, you're stopped, you're overwhelmed, you're frozen, you get paralysis of the analysis. That's hopelessness. When you think that the light at the end of the tunnel is the way out of your trap, then you run to the light. But if the train is coming at you, you wouldn't run to that, obviously, right? And what's the difference in those two events? Both light, both a tunnel, both a situation. One is you believe that if you run to the light, you're going to get out. One, if you believe you run to the light, you're going to get killed, right? I mean, so that's hope and hopelessness. And all of us, me included, face that or have faced that at times in our lives. And it's amazing to me the power of our brain and our spirit that God gives us to do things that are way beyond what we thought we could do once we believe that they're possible. That's called hope. And so when I show you, look, you make $100,000 a year, you got $30,000 in debt, you feel stuck, but gosh, if we did that at $1,000 a month, you're going to be out of debt. And my gosh, and $1,000 a month out of $100,000 is nothing. That's $12,000 a year. You're going to be out of debt in a little over 2 years. And you suddenly go, oh, I see it. Ding, ding. It's the same situation you were in, but now you can see it. You see what I'm talking about? And once you can see it, that's called hope. I can see my way out. One of the things that steals your hope is when you have lost your perspective. And perspective is, of course, your point of view, the way you're seeing things. It's happened to me. It's happened to you. I remember one time, one of my daughters, when she was in high school, a certain boy did not call at a certain time that he was supposed to call, and she was very upset. Like the world is coming to an end. And her mom and I are trying to quit laughing so we can walk in and comfort her. Now, why are we standing in the hall outside her bedroom laughing, and why is she in there hopeless? Well, we've got perspective. We see things that she doesn't see because we've been places she hasn't been and have experiences that she doesn't have, right? So, in other words, we've been to our 20-year class reunion. We know she'll be glad he didn't call. That's what we're giggling about, standing in the hall, right? So we have perspective. And so, when you don't have perspective, when you cannot see the other side, you're standing in poop up to your knees, but you can't see the other side of it, then it's not fertilizer at that point. It's just poop. But when you can see the other side of it, then it's fertilizer. And it's going to grow some things in your future. When you're walking through garbage, in other words, there's some good is going to come out of the garbage that you're in. But when it gets right down on you, and your vision is just the end of your nose and not the end of your life. When you look out 10 years, you see stuff different than when you look out 10 seconds. And the young man I was just talking to, and folks that I've dealt with in homeless situations, that's one of the problems is the desperation just to eat and not be cold causes you to have 10-second increments of thought instead of 10-year increments of thought. See, I can stand back from that, sitting here warm and with a full belly in my studio several thousand miles away, and look at him and go, dude, just go work more. But he couldn't see that. Y'all can't hear that. Did you hear? He wasn't getting it. It's like, go deliver pizzas, go blow leaves, go walk dogs, go shovel something somewhere, go do something, go, work all the time, because as soon as you do that, money comes from work. That's where it comes from. And I can't get enough hours. Well, then work someplace else. Work more. Work all the time. But because I've done that kind of stuff, and I'm the other side of it, and I've seen what it does. I mean, when we were going broke, I had 2 little babies and wife. The house is in foreclosure. We're that close to homeless ourselves. So how we get out of it? Worked our butt off. And, well, you can't work your way out of everything. I didn't work my way out. I went bankrupt. But I didn't lose the house. And if I had lost the house, I'd have found someplace to live, and I'd have worked my way into an apartment, and we'd lived in that. Well, and it's not that I'm better, and it's not that I'm smarter. Only thing is just perspective. It's like I didn't grow up rich. But I had a friend that grew up rich. And because he grew up in a wealthy home, he had the perception that everything was going to work out because it had always worked out. And I had the perspective that it ain't going to work out. It's going to be awful. But because he thought everything was always going to work out, you know what? It all worked out a lot. And because I didn't think it was going to work out, sometimes it didn't work out. You set yourself in these tracks and these ruts with this thing. But when you can see the other side of it, it's easy to work through it. It's when you can't see the other side of it that you don't want to work through it because you don't believe it's going to work. That's called hopelessness. The situation is exactly the same. The only difference is your perspective. And so I'm challenging some of you right now that think you're stuck. You think you're stuck in a career. You think you're stuck in this marriage that's bad. It's always going to be that way. You think you're stuck with whatever behavior you're stuck with. You think you're stuck with your money. You think you're stuck in debt. You're not stuck. You're not stuck. Life is not a snapshot. It's a film strip. You're going to turn the page and something else is going to happen better or worse tomorrow. It is not going to stay the same. You are not stuck. So look the other side of it. Look out there 5 years. Look out there 3 years. Look out there 10 months and say, what have I got to do? What's got to be true that's not true right now for me to never be here again? That's the question he was asking. But he was having trouble emotionally buying it. And I don't think I helped him. It's kind of bothering me. That's why I want to talk about it a minute. I'm not sure he heard me. But if I woke up in his shoes tomorrow, if you took my wallet away with everything I have been through, I had no identity, my driver's license was gone, I didn't have a car, and you just dumped me on the street, I wouldn't be there long because I don't believe that about me and my future. And I know if I do this, this, and this, that I'll be out. And I would work my way right out of it. I don't know how long it would take, but I would get there. I'd push my way through it. And I haven't always been that way. There's been times that I was so scared and so beat up and so hopeless that I couldn't breathe and I couldn't see. And what I'm talking about here is vision, sight. That gives you hope. When you lose your sight, when you can't see the other side of it, then there's no, it's hard to take action. It's hard to fix it. And the problem is there's not a magic wand. There is a series of things you've got to do, a series of steps you got to take to become unstuck wherever it is you are stuck, wherever it is I'm stuck. I think that guy's going to be okay. I really do. I think he's going to be better off than he thinks he's going to be. I think it's going to work out. Great book to read if you want to read it, called Pizza Tiger. The guy that started Domino's Pizza, Monahan. Came out of the Army, made some bad mistakes, and ended up living in a homeless shelter. And then he ends up owning Domino's Pizza at the end of the story. So, it's going to be all right. It can be. You can choose for it to be all right. And it's not magic, and it's not positive thinking, and it's not easy. It's hard. But it's perception. And it's one of the reasons I read biographies of successful people, is it lets me know that they went through crap and they made it. And then if I'm going through crap, I'm going to make it. And that's what that's where you are. It's where I have been and am sometimes. It's going to be okay. It's going to turn out okay. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.